Hey guys, I'm Jamie. Welcome back or to my channel if you are new. Today's video is going to be the mid-year book freakout tag. Okay, so I've always wanted to make this video, but I wasn't making YouTube videos yet last year around like June-ish when this tag was going around. So I decided that I'm finally going to do it this year and I am very excited. So let's get into the questions. Okay, so the first question is best book of the year. And I definitely could not pick one book because I've read so many this year. Like, it's actually crazy what my number is so far. But the two that I picked out for this prompt are Divine Rivals, which literally I absolutely love this book so much. So this is definitely one of the ones on the list. This is a like more mature YA kind of fantasy set in like our world. It's about two war correspondents slash like newspaper writers, and they're kind of rivals, obviously divine rivals, but this book is adorable and I literally, the ending, I cannot wait for the second one. Like, I'm so excited to keep reading this, but this was better than I even thought it was going to be, and it is a new like comfort read for me. So this is definitely one of the best books I've read this year. And then, of course, if you guys know my reading taste, you know I had to mention Happy Place by Emily Henry. I will literally read anything Emily Henry writes. I literally cannot wait until next year when a new book comes out by her. But she will probably always be on like my top books of the year because I just love them so much. And if you have watched my summer reading recs, then you know what this book is about. But I just love her writing so much, and this book made me cry, it made me happy. So this one is another one of the best books I've read this year. Okay, so for best sequel, I also have two answers. And honestly, when I was like looking through my bookshelves to try to find like my favorite sequels, I haven't read that many sequels this year, which is surprising since I've read like over 200 books this year so far, which I know is crazy. I can get into how I read so much if you guys are interested, but that's not what this video is about. So favorite sequels, I had to mention Cookie Kingdom because I finally read this book this year. I'm kind of embarrassed that it took me so long to finish because I think I read Six of Crows like 2 years ago, but I was so scared to read this book that I just didn't pick it up. But I did finally read it. I did, spoiler, sob like a baby at the end, but it was so good and I just love the Crows so much. So one of my favorite sequels. And then I literally will probably not be able to mention just one book for every one of these questions, but my second pick is Empire of Storms. My friend Abby knows that I literally will reread somebody's POV like over and over and over. Like, I've probably read their POV like 5 times. It is crazy. She is my comfort character. I just keep going back to her chapters. So I've read this book like all the way through only once, but I've read from her POV like 5 times. So I've like gone through the whole story 5 times. But yeah, it's my favorite. Like, I will probably reread this book the most. And then also I wanted to mention Queen of Shadows because I also love that one so much. I don't know why. Those are like my comfort books of the series before they get too crazy. Well, Queen of Shadows doesn't get too crazy, but Empire of Storm does. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. But on to the next question. The next question is a new release book that I have not read yet, and that is going to be Tress of the Emerald Sea. I really want to get to this book. My brother recently read it and finished it, and he really liked it, and I trust his reading taste. So, and it's Brandon Sanderson, so like of course I'm gonna like it. Like, I love his book so far, but I need to get to that one. So that is my answer for that question. Okay, the next one is most anticipated release for the second half of the year or the rest of the year. And again, I cannot pick one answer for this, but that's gonna be The Chalice of the Gods. I think that's the title. I'll put it here, but it's Percy Jackson #6, which I am super excited about. It also comes out on my birthday. Like, how exciting. I'm gonna have such a fun reading day on my birthday because another one that I'm really looking forward to is the second Pale Lady Fortune book. I can't remember the title, but I'll put it up here. I am so excited about this book, and It also comes out on my birthday. So we're gonna have a really busy birthday this year, reading lots of books, and also be in college, so we'll see how this all works out. But yeah, those are two of my most anticipated books of the year. Number 5 is biggest disappointment. I figured out my answer for most disappointing, which is really sad, but it's probably 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I really liked the ending of this book. Otherwise I would probably have gotten like a straight 2-star, but I gave it 2.5 stars. But this was just really disappointing to me because I absolutely adore A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, this whole series. I love those books so much. I love the characters. I did relate to some of the characters in 5 Survive, but I was just having a hard time. But I definitely liked it still. I just wanted to like absolutely love it like I did with A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So it was just a disappointment because of the author and not necessarily because of the book, if that makes sense. Like if somebody else wrote it, I might have liked it more, who knows, but I was just disappointed because I was expecting more from Holly Jackson. So that was my biggest disappointment this year, but I still like enjoyed the book. It wasn't like I DNF'd it or like gave it 1 star, but I did almost, and I think that's why I brought my rating down. So yeah, biggest disappointment was 5 Survive. Biggest surprise, okay, you guys are gonna have to like listen to me when I say this because context is key for this book. And my big surprise was Fourth Wing. So I pre-ordered Fourth Wing before it was like big on TikTok. Like I saw the sprayed edges, I was like, I want it. I bought it before I literally knew anything about the book, and then things were like slowly coming out, and so when I read it and I gave it 5 stars, that was surprising to me because I read it the day it came out because I placed a hold on my audiobook really early at my library, so there wasn't like that much hype yet. That's the context, okay? But I absolutely loved it so much. It was great, but I do have 2 other answers for this. The other one is Kit McBride Gets a Wife. I absolutely adore this book. It was so cute, so fun. Just a great time reading it. I loved that book. And then my last answer for this one is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. And this wasn't necessarily like that surprising, but it was surprising to me of like how much I did love it because it was so good. Ooh, new favorite author. This one's fun. For new favorite author this year, I have to go with Elsie Silver, who wrote the Chestnut Springs series. I literally had read no cowboy romance before this, but now I like actively seek them out because of how good her books are. Literally all 4 of them have been 4.5 stars or 5 stars. I eat them up the day they come out. I read them. I love them so much. I'm literally staring at them on my romance shelf over there. But they are my new favorite interconnected standalone romance series. That's so many words. But yeah, she is definitely my new favorite author, and I'm waiting for like her past books to get audiobooks so that I can read them. Again, dyslexic, so I love audiobooks. But that is my answer. Absolutely adore her writing, love her characters, everything, the world. It's amazing. So like many people that read romance, you just collect book boyfriends like they're, I don't know, books. That's the only thing I collect. So that's my reference. But I have so many good options for this, but I'm gonna go with my number 1 book boyfriend of the year, and that is Lorcan from Throne of Glass, or Dorian. I love them both, but I think Lorcan is my favorite just because I love like a moody man. It's one of my favorite things to read in romance books specifically. Also in fantasy, like it just adds another layer. So yeah, that's my answer. I love him so much. The next question is new favorite character. And so I'm sorry to mention Sarah J Maas again, but I read Crescent City, the first one, for the first time this year, and I absolutely adored Bryce, but also Rune Dannon. Maybe he should be my book boyfriend actually, rather than Lorcan. I don't know what Sarah J Maas puts into her men, but they're all amazing. But I think Bryce might be one of my new favorite characters. Also, the sister from Kit McBride Gets a Wife, she is hilarious. I love her. She just adds a whole nother layer to those books. So I think those are my answers. Again, could never just pick one character. Can you imagine picking one favorite character? out of the 200 books I've read this year, I think I would rather die. For real. Because I love the majority of the characters I read. Some of them I absolutely hate, but the majority of the ones I love. So the next question is book that made you cry, and I honestly have a lot of answers for this. Like, I cry a lot reading books, but these are like the 3 that I think I probably cried the most in this year, which, like, at least on my shelves. Like, I can't remember anything else like making me like sob my eyes out. But the first one, Kingdom of Ash, made me cry. If you read this, you probably can guess like where I cried. But this book was an emotional roller coaster. It is so big, first of all, but also it's just, there's a lot of tears that happen while I'm reading this. I literally was driving home one day and I was just like crying. That's also a pattern with the next book I'm going to show you. I was also crying on the way home, and that is this book. I literally was crying for like 45 minutes, no joke. Like, every time I'd stop, like when I was reading, more things would just make me cry. So yeah, those are my answers. Also, one more that literally made me cry like 5 to 7 times. I don't remember. I was trying to count because I wanted to see how much it made me cry. But that is this book. And I already mentioned both of these. But yeah, this one made the tears come in front of my mom too, which I hate crying when I'm reading in front of people, but I just couldn't help myself during this book. So yeah, if you guys like to cry, read those books, I guess. Book that made me happy. Again, so many answers. Like, so many books made me happy this year. I think I'm just gonna rapid fire, sorry, I'm staring at my books, list things. So Kit McBride Gets a Wife, that one made me so happy. It was such a fun book. Also, the Chestnut Springs series, definitely had some laughs. Loved those. I finished the Bromance Book Club series this year. Absolutely loved all of those. It made me happy. What else did I read this year? Oh my gosh. Honestly, I'm just gonna say all the books I read in some way made me happy this year. So I guess check out my Goodreads for all my 5 stars. And then you'll know which books made me extra happy. But those are some of my answers. So sorry I couldn't do more. Oh, this is not even a competition. This is easy. The question is your favorite book to movie adaptation this year. So if you guys know, it's July. It's not the end of July yet. So my favorite book to movie / TV show adaptation this year is Daisy Jones and the Six. Absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. The drama was there. The music was there. The music, oh my gosh, it was so good. But also what I was trying to mention or allude to with the end of July thing is The Summer I Turned Pretty season 2 is coming out. So who knows, that might beat out Daisy Jones. We're gonna have to see at the end of the year what my favorite one is. But so far, it's Daisy Jones and the Six. No question. Okay, so the next one is most beautiful book that you bought or received this year. And I honestly have been trying not to buy that many books, so this one was kind of hard for me to pick, but I still have 2 answers because of course I do. But the first one is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I just love this cover. I want to get the UK cover, so that might beat out this one once I get that one. But again, haven't like bought that many like beautiful books this year, so this is one. I really like it. I think it's pretty, but it's not like excessive, if you know what I mean. And then the next one is the Waterstones edition, simply because of the sprayed edges. But yeah, like the front isn't anything crazy, but the edges are just so pretty. So that's why it's on here. Also, the book itself is beautiful, so it just extra layer. Okay, and last but not least, the last question is, what book do you need to read before the end of the year? This is a really good question. I should probably say a book on my physical TBR, you know, get those out of the way. This is so hard. Probably a new release. I really want to read Powerless by Lauren Roberts by the end of the year, because her traditionally published book is, I believe, coming out in November. So I really want to read that one. because I have her self-published book. Like, I ordered it when she self-published her books. Again, like I've mentioned 3 times in this video, I have dyslexia, so I've been waiting for the audiobook, and I'm super excited that she got picked up by a traditional publisher, selfishly, so that I can get the audiobook. But I'm just so happy for her. So yeah, I think that one is like one that I really want to read by the end of the year. But also maybe in like some series I'm reading, maybe Hellbent, because I read Ninth House this year and I really liked that one, and so I really want to finish Ninth House this year, but who knows when her 3rd book will be coming out, so maybe I shouldn't do that. But yeah, I think those are some answers for that are different from other books I already mentioned. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. This was kind of a mess, at least in my mind, but I hope that I answered these questions good, and I hope that you guys take some recommendations from this video, because yeah, there's some good books that I've read this year so far. But I'm so excited for the rest of the year for reading, to see how much I can read. I am starting school in the fall, so I think my reading's gonna go down from there. So hopefully I can still make my reading goal, which is 300 books, which I know isn't crazy, but we're trying to do it. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you like this video. If you like it, and subscribe, it just helps me out. And stay tuned for more book and lifestyle content. Bye guys.